Hi, I'm Kirk Fitzsimmons with Solid State Marine Batteries. We're here in beautiful Pawtucket, Rhode Island to show off our 30,000 square foot facility and learn how batteries are made. Come on, let's go see how we put them together. So when you first come in the door here, this is our greeting area or of our reception. When we have distinguished guests like Senator Reed from Rhode Island, we had a reception in this room, and this is generally where we kind of have a lot of our displays kind of in and out of all the trade shows that we do. So we have some battery cases on display. We have some of our promotional materials, and then we have another exhibit here from a customer, Key Cube, Key Electronics in Portsmouth. They've come up with a very innovative generator replacement, so we got one here on display. Let's go down to the factory. We're going to cut through one of our conference rooms here. We're going to end up in our pre-assembly area. So over here, this is where we do a lot of our pre-assembly in this whole room. And this one particular section is where we do a lot of soldering, particularly where a lot of NEMA communications or any other comms that have to happen in our custom battery builds. We can go and do that soldering here and make sure it's precise and fit and durable for the battery build. In this section of pre-assembly, we make our own wires here at Solid State Marine. The wiring is super important in our batteries because of the power density that we have. So you have to make sure that it's the right size for the right size battery. But just a simple board of different sizes for some of our hardware that goes along with the wires. We cut our wires to length. They are all cut to measured to length and then assembled here at this section. So one of the things that we do here at Solid State Marine is we make our own parts. We have our own CNC machine and laser cutting. That's a build out in the back section of the facility. With all of that, we have all of our CAD designs are pushed through that cutting station where we pre-assemble the framework, the internal frame of the battery. Here I'm holding a 3660. With this, you can see where our cells will be laid out into this framework, pushed through our own bus bars that we make. These are all aluminum that are fit into these grids, and they are positioned for the weld, which comes after this into the full assembly. So from this area, we're going to go into the main assembly line. But before it goes into assembly, we have to do the prep of the cells. So what Lisa's doing here is she's taking our individual cells and making sure the anode and cathode are cut perfectly. So they're exact same length for full assembly. So I'm here at the beginning of the line. This is where the cells, which are measured exactly, the anode and cathode the same length, this is where it all starts. So the cells come in from the warehouse, from this back end of the line, and we'll see a flow going right through the assembly line. So at this station, we saw where the pre-assembly is done in the other room. These then are put together. All of our QC documentation that goes with every battery, with all of our QR codes, and the SKUs are assigned to each of these batteries with each battery fingerprint, if you will, for our quality controls. So here's an example of a 48-volt battery with all of the anodes and cathodes through the bus bars, folded over, ready for laser welding. So as we come further down the line, after weld, the electronics are put on, the wiring begins. They're all soldered onto the cells in the group and series that make up the voltage. We also have special internal carriages and support and structure for our BMS inside the forever case of the battery itself. So for this example, in our 48210, this is where the BMS on this cradle, if you will, we put on top of the battery and then put into its case. Here at this workbench is just to show you where the soldering happens. So again, after the laser welding's happening and it's coming through the line, this is where the wires are put through in order to attach the BMS. Here I have a 36 120 amp hour battery, and I'm just here to show you the BMS that's on top of the battery itself, where it was laser weld. The top harness is here, or cradle for the BMS is here with the full wiring. The next step is it goes into Solid State Marine white case. So now here I am after the battery has gone through the line. It comes out into the next QC section. This is where we charge. This is where we do all the cell balancing, and we take the curves of each battery and have that fingerprint of its SKU to the battery build itself, so we have in our QC records exactly how it performed leaving our shop. One of the last things I'd like to call out in the battery builds is our ability to customize the batteries to whichever build or complex system the customer may have. This is a simple example of just some amphenol connectors that we have here on this 36 volt versus our standard M8 screws that we have on our standard offerings. But then we all have our communications, so customers can tell us what communications they need on the battery in their system to connect to their MFDs or whatever they have on their boat particularly. So that can be Victron, RS-485, or CAN bus, for example, and some of those might require different ports on the battery that we can put and customize those to wherever the need may be. So after the battery builds are all done, it's gone through full assembly and through the QC checks. They are stacked over here in our shelves and ready for shipping. And beyond batteries here, we offer chargers. We have a variety of different chargers depending on the systems that customers need. We offer a full line of Victron product as well as a variety of other chargers depending on the system. So for any questions you might have about chargers or any of our batteries, please visit solidstatemarine.com.